Did it not? Oh. Damn it.
Right, let me hang on a second.
All right. Well, we'll just redo the whole. We're just gonna have to redo that part of it.
That's all right.
That's a good start, man.
That sucks. That was good too.
Yeah.
Okay. I had no idea. Nobody said anything.
Nobody heard anything.
Nobody said
Alright,
anything.
we'll do it better.
So
We'll do it
we're
better.
just shooting the shit for no reason.
Yeah.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it fucking live.
So Dylan, I'm gonna scooch this over a little because we have an empty space next to James there.
Okay.
Yeah, Colin.
So
Well, yeah. I guess we'll just reset up because apparently they missed all of that. So I had no idea. Nobody said anything. I thought
usually
it.
they're
Yeah.
like there's no.
They're like, hello.
All right, how's that look? Are we centered?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on now.
Is it more centered?
Well,
Yeah.
until you get back over, yeah, but it's close enough.
Yeah,
I'm just saying on
you'll be
the
good.
Corners.
Yeah.
Okay, here, hold on. Yeah, we'll just do that way. We're kind of you can get the sarcophagus in there. I don't know if you saw that up there or not.
What's that?
I love the
Yeah, I'm
sarcophagus, man. King Tut.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if you saw
Yeah,
that.
that
or
sucks. I can't believe that. Yeah.
So we did all
No,
that.
nobody said anything. Everything was blocked on here because we're.
Don't worry, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll smash it. We'll do it.
Alright,
We'll do it again.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Well, anyway, so anybody who's catching up with us now, like I said, I didn't realize nobody said anything. We had to move everything, so everything was a little funky. So
You guys are
anyway, it
supposed
would
to
have been
tell
nice
us-
if somebody had said like
you guys are
even
supposed to
something,
tell
like,
us if something's
yeah,
fucked up.
Yeah.
We had a drive.
We had a great.
Yeah, no,
he's
that was a
telling
good conversation,
stories. Yeah, it was all sorts of stuff. There's airplanes and monkeys and helicopters and shit.
and dudes on bikes and everything.
Yeah, it was
so,
all
Yeah.
It was all sorts of stuff you guys missed out. This is-
All right.
So anyway, it's nice seeing you. See you later.
Yeah. So what we did.
It was a pleasure, mate.
So we got to go now.
All right, so we might go a little bit long today, seeing that we basically went for a half hour with nobody being part of anything. That's crazy.
Can you?
Yeah.
We're all good now?
Yeah,
Everyone
we
good?
should be good
Yeah?
now. Yeah.
All right, well
I
then
just can't believe nobody mentioned it. I mean, I had the preview going, but I didn't. No, it's fine. It's just everything moved. I'm doing all this stuff at the last minute. Something's gonna go wrong.
Well, we're sorry, everybody. Yeah, we didn't see it. We didn't catch it. You guys didn't let us know. But I'm glad you guys were chatting in between.
Yeah.
So and you stayed. So that's good. So, what's happening, Ben? Carla, good to see you. Dastardly Dave, Sean. Hopefully everybody else is still in here. If not, you guys can catch the replay.
Yeah.
Cool.
This
It's raw.
is how shit. That's how stuff works.
Mate,
here,
it's
so.
good. Don't worry. We had a rehearsal.
Yeah. So now we went through one.
So now
couple
we're slick.
stories.
We've
Yeah.
gone from raw to slick.
Yeah, now we're gonna be. Now this is gonna be top-notch pro. This is it. This is.
We've got to think of what our bits were again. They were good bits.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you came on with the wig and the
You know, it's not that uncommon. Just saying. You know, it depends. It's Thursday afternoon. Shit gets real weird. You know,
stuff gets weird on
Yeah.
Thursday afternoon.
gets weird. It gets weird here on
Stuff
Thursday
gets weird.
afternoons.
I'm here for it.
All right, so let's start this all over again.
Yeah.
What's happening, everybody? Ike from Flipside Music, obviously, because you're here. I'm here with James, who is from Blackstar. He flew in from England to come visit us. He's also here with Colin from Korg.
Correct.
Colin decided to not be part of our live stream. He's over there playing
But
Angry Birds or something, you know.
he's just too damn sexy for the lens. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
He wanted to, but we didn't want him on here because he was going to show us.
We figured it would, yeah, exactly. It was just going to, all the attention was going to go.
Even the
Colin.
camera's just going to slowly pan to Colin the whole time.
So we opted, he opted out, we opted out too. And as always,
Yes.
here with Dylan,
Yeah.
who is in the control center that you can see.
Yeah.
Right, well,
So
sort
I'm
of,
like the top. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
we're good now.
right next to Sammy the sarcophagus. So we're all here ready to go.
Yes.
All right.
So where did we get to? Blackstar.
So we got to the, okay,
Yeah.
so
if we want to redo that part, I don't know.
So
That's
we-
all pretty good.
well, yeah, so we got to.
I can do an abbreviated version.
Where
Yes.
where Blackstar name came from.
Yeah.
So do we want to start with that and then tell the
Yeah,
story?
let's do that. So go on. Okay, so I'll go. So Blackstar. Where did the name come from? We are a brand of no egos, as we were saying before when you couldn't hear
In the
it.
before times.
Essentially, what I was trying to say was the BS stands for Blackstar and also no BS. We're a no ego brand. Everyone's on a level, and we were formed by 4 guys originally from Marshall, but we'll come back to that. 2 of those guys are are still with us and absolutely involved in the everyday business of what we do. Because there's no ego, when the guys were setting up the company, they didn't want a surname attached to it like a lot of brands have. And no disrespect to those brands, it works for them. But for what we wanted, we didn't want so Ian Robinson is our MD and Paul Hayho is the other MD that obviously helped form the company. We didn't want Hayho Robinson amps or...
Well, I don't know.
You know
I don't
what I
know
mean?
that rolls off the tongue.
It's not.
Anyway.
It's not. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
So, and also, even if it wasn't, they just didn't want that thing. So they started thinking about names, and what they did was they were sat in Ian's kitchen and they just wrote down. They made loads of pots of tea. It's very English.
Yeah.
Loads of pots of tea, and they sat there one night just scrawling out names to see what works. I'll let you into a little bit of a secret. One of the ideas that we nearly went with was cream. They were like, that's kind of cool. But then, kind of at the last minute, they were like, well, what's cool? Like, well, black. Black is cool. What's aspirational? Star. Black star. And they were like, ah, that moment where...
Okay.
So we went with that. And one of the earliest, kind of within the first 5 to 7 years of the brand, being a brand, coolest things that happened was Bowie named his record Blackstar, his final record, because of a Blackstar amp that was in the studio.
Oh, okay.
Didn't know
No,
that.
that-
That's
Yeah.
very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
that's why if you look
I
at
always wondered if there was a connection.
if you look at the cover of that record, it's almost our logo.
It is. No, that's why I always
Yeah.
wondered if
Okay.
there was a connection. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah, so Paul Hayho in particular got a massive kick out of that.
That's
Nice.
cool.
We
That is as English as it gets too. That's,
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, cream was it because of the tea? Was there cream on the table?
Yeah.
Was that part of the thing?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. There were a few in the running, but Blackstar won out, and since then, so we I'll just give you the brief thing. So the guys were very senior guys at Marshall, so senior that they worked side by side with Jim Marshall. So they gave a lot up when they came to start the company. They, like I was saying, they had families, mortgages. They put a lot on the line. They left, pretty senior, well-paid jobs in a major brand to go out on their own and give it a go. So for 3 or 4 years, they worked in Ian's shed at the bottom of his garden, and I think, as far as I know, they probably put their houses on the line. Like it was tight, man. And they were like
it had to work or else.
But they had to.
it
It
was
was
kinda like burn
bust
the
or break.
boats.
Yeah,
Right.
they had to do it. And that's why. And just absolute testament to the guys. Like they put the work in, and they were like, "We can do this. We're going to make this work. We've got some ideas that at the time didn't gel with the direction that Marshall were going. They didn't, and they broke on good terms, perfectly amicable. And Ian and Paul, and we've had a lot of guys come over from that brand as well since. They all speak very highly of the brand, and we never have any issues with. There's no bad blood, anything like that. But they just had these ideas, and they were like, they don't fit here. So I think they fit in this other thing.
In another.
Yeah.
If we make this, we can make this.
We can do our own
work.
thing. So obviously, over time that seed grew in their minds, and the 4 guys left. And as I say, they spent 3 to 4 years in Ian's shed, literally just building stuff and just like experimenting with sound. And out of that time came our ISF technology, which is infinite shape feature, which is the feature which shifts the tone deck. So treble, middle, bass, and then ISF on the end. So it's almost infinite different variations of tone. That came about almost by mistake, just through pure experimentation in Ian's shed.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. And
So is the ISF, does it essentially kind of move just the whole EQ curve
Yeah,
in general?
yeah, but then
and then
obviously-
you're kind of fine tuning it with the other controls.
yes, if you set the EQs at 12 and then
Mhm.
you start playing with the ISF, that's
Yeah, it's kind of
you can.
shifting.
So what we have is this UK tone hard left and this USA tone hard right. I think it's that way around. I haven't seen an ID Core out of a box for a while.
Yeah.
Either way, which way it is. Oh, there we go. There's one there behind the camera. But then obviously if you move the tone deck, suddenly it's like, oh, okay. And then you're shifting your treble, you're shifting your bass and your mid, and you're shifting your ISF. hence infinite shape
Yeah.
feature. You know, it's kind of almost infinite, the tones you can get. And we put that in one of our cheapest products, which is ID Core. You know, that's not a high end. It should be, and we could have marketed it as that,
Yeah,
but
you
we were
could.
like, let's get this out to kids, let's get people playing. So that's kind of how the embers of the company started, and from there it grew and it grew. But Ian and Paul were still every day in the office working away, but completely grounded. When I joined the company, there's a list of. I don't work in the office very often because I work remotely because I travel a lot. But I was given a diagram of the office layout, and so I could learn the names of people.
Oh,
So here's the finance department. That's Stacey. That's whoever. And you're like, okay, cool. And then at the bottom of it, and it's got Paul and Ian's office on there. And at the bottom of it is a little thing. It's like, this is not a hierarchy list. It's just a list of people.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, day one on your new job, you're like, this is good.
This might work out.
This
Yeah,
is
that's a
going to
good
work out. So I like telling things like that, because when you're a guitar player, a musician, you're buying a brand, you're buying a product, but you're buying into an idea. You're buying into a thing. It's a culture.
Yeah. Not even the bit of history that you gave. Like for me, like at the shop, it's always easier. Like I'm not that great at just going right into the product. Like I usually like to tell people about the company, because the people behind it, like it gives you a reason or something to support other than just buying a product.
Yeah, and part of the reason I'm over here in the States with our good friends at Korg, who distribute Blackstar in America. They do a great job. Those guys have got a lot on with other brands. Obviously, they've got their own brands as well. As much as they do for us, they do an incredible job. We wanted to get some more presence out here, and doing stuff like this. It's like, we want to show we're just people. We're 40 people. Blackstar as a company. It's like, I think we might be up to like 45 now, but we're not 300-400 people. It's like everyone's working, spinning plates. You know what that's like.
Yeah.
You're doing 5 or 6 things in your head, and you're thinking about
official plate spinner.
the plate. You're doing 8 things at the back of your mind. We work hard. Everybody brings their A game. If I've spent a lot of time on the road, I like to go and do a day in the office, because I love my job. But sometimes if you're tired and it's Monday morning, I like to go to the office because it inspires me. I get there and
Then you get with the rest of the energy of the company, and that
can
kind of wind you up for the
It
rest
does.
of the week.
It's like you walk in, it's like 45 people like on their shit. You know what I mean?
You could say shit. These people here.
45 people on their shit, bringing their A game, and that just gives me a right. Let's go. Just as the energy was dipping, it's like let's go. So cool company. So before we talk about products, I just wanted to give you a little outline of the MO, really.
Yeah, that sounds, like Dylan was saying, it's always interesting to know a backstory for a company, or what their philosophy is, or how they kind of run stuff, because I think there's a lot of people out there that already deal with certain companies, and they sometimes know how that somewhat an idea of what the inner workings of the company do, and they're like, fuck them.
I can do that.
I like their products, but I just don't like them.
Yeah, totally.
And I think you see that not only with manufacturers, but I think we see that with you see that in other retail companies. Just even when you're within your everyday life, there's sometimes you're like, I kind of like that thing, but I really don't like I really don't like that company. Yeah. And I think when you do like a company, you kind of support it a little bit more. Yeah. Because you're like, I like the fact that the people behind it. Yeah, these are just normal folks, and I'm a normal person, and I'd like to support a company that's doing cool stuff, and doing cool stuff for basically us.
And we don't make a product for the sake of making a new product. It's
it's just about money, or just
it's
about
like
the numbers.
NAM,
kind of where
NAM's in 6 months. We should probably have something like we don't do that. And we'll get so far with some stuff, and maybe it's not worked out. In the whatever stage we're at with whatever that thing is, and we'll pull the release date, pull everything back, like I said, and there's got to be a place for it. And if there's not, then there's no point doing it. But we've always got, like, I think right now, I think there's like 9 projects simultaneously running
Wow.
for gear. And I know, like, I work for Blackstar, I'm going to say this, but what we've got coming down the pipe is like game changing. It's like,
Cool.
it's big.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I like, obviously, more some of the recent stuff, just to kind of maybe talk a little bit about
Yeah.
the St. James, which you guys can see right here. This is the St. James head. We just actually got this one in.
This guy.
Yeah, you can lay that.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. So these amps are really cool.
Yeah.
Like when we got them in, I remember when they first came out, we didn't have our order in. We didn't have the amps in the shop yet.
Yeah.
But I saw videos and I go, holy shit, I can't wait to get these things in. So once we got them in, for me, they didn't disappoint. There was a number
Right.
of different reasons why I liked them. I do like a 6L6 amplifier. So that's what we got with this guy.
Right. Yeah.
But also the fact that they were lightweight.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, they are incredibly light. For anybody who hasn't
Lightweight,
picked
yeah.
one up yet, like the cabs, the head, all of it, for the amount of sound that comes out, it's pretty incredible how light they are.
We just got one of the cabs, and I remember it came in, and I went, "What the?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
So,
It's,
and not only the physicality of it,
Yeah.
but they sound awesome.
Well, I can tell you a bit about that. I mean, Ian Robinson, I've been talking about at one of our MDs. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this.
What's an MD? Just because I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. MD's managing director.
Okay.
Like
Just so everybody
Over
else.
here, medical
he's
doctor
not,
sometimes.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna say he's
yeah.
not a doctor. I don't think.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be an amp doctor.
Amp doctor.
Yeah.
he certainly could be a good amp doctor. That's for sure. When we started with the St James project, all we had was like a blank page, and I'll let you into. I feel like I want to give you a couple of little inside secrets. So give this.
Sure.
We've said that we were nearly called Cream. So
We got tens of people watching this.
I'll keep this going. So we have a code within the company, and I can't tell you what that is, but obviously it's quite funny because we change it all the time. One of the first codes was different rivers.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like Project Thames,
Okay.
Project Avon, whatever the thing was. So when this started, you've got like a piece of paper and like, let's say it was Project Thames. One of the first things Ian put was, we want to F stuff up with this. We don't want to come out with a polite little, here's this little thing. He was like, I want it lightweight, I want it powerful, I want tech in there, but I don't want the tech. We don't want the tech to be like the focus of the thing. We don't want it to be too. And by the way, he's saying this, and everyone else is thinking it. We're all on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the guy that designed this is a guy called Paul Stevens. And Paul Stevens, if you think I sound a little bit like I might be from, what's the rockumentary, the famous one? Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
If you think I might sound a little bit like that, Paul Stevens talks like that. He's like, all right, mate, how's it going? Apples and pears.
I thought you had more of a Ricky Gervais kind of.
Oh, really?
sound.
Oh, okay,
That's right.
I'll take that. That's all right.
It might have been the words.
Okay.
A couple of words you've used.
Really? Yeah.
That work.
Well, and some of it is the cadence, because I feel like England, for as small as it is, remarkably has a shit ton of like different accents.
We've got so many regions.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like I said, I told you I watch a lot of like documentary
Yeah.
stuff on the UK, and it's funny because I go, man, I wonder where he's from.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
every
sit
once
with
in a
you.
while you'll hear one that you haven't heard
And I go,
before.
what is this?
Yeah.
It's like some.
I'd love to sit with you and tell you. I was with I can talk about other brands, right?
What's that?
I can talk about like other guitar brands and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was with back in the day. I was doing some training with some of the Taylor guys, the guys from Taylor. There was a lot of other dealers there as well as me. I used to work in a shop, and there was a guy called Tim Larank, who was one of the earliest guys that was on the payroll at Taylor back when they were in Lemon Grove, back when the company started. Like him and Bob and Kurt and Tim. He was like one of the earliest guys. We were out for dinner. And he was like, so where in, he's like West Coast dude, right, hardcore California. So where in England are you from? And I'm telling him where I'm from. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he kind of said, so what's your accent? And I'm like, oh, so I'm from here. And he's like, well, is there different accents? And he had no idea that we had all these regional accents. So in the middle of this dinner, I get my iPhone out and I've got the maps and he's just pointing at places. So what does that sound like? and what does that sound like? And I'm just sitting there going, whoa, it sounded a bit like Paul McCartney in Liverpool. You know, and it's like, oh man. But yeah, we've got loads of regional accents. But Paul Stevens, who designed St James, is a proper Cockney Essex. All right, mate, how's it going? But he tells the story of this better than I do. But when he made this and designed St James, he said I wanted to make an amp for myself that I could use and
Something you'd be happy with.
yeah,
That's just always a good direction.
yeah. And he just said I want like Ian was the outline was put out there. He said we wanted it lightweight, but we wanted it to pack a punch. So the head is lighter than a house cat. It's like 11 pounds. It's like there's nothing to it. We do them as a combo. We do them as a 2x12 combo, 6L6 and EL34. When you look at them as a product, they've got an almost boutique-y kind of vibe, so a little bit different for Blackstar.
It's a very sharp looking amplifier.
Yeah.
Like it's an attractive looking amp. For those of you guys that haven't checked out the St. James series, because we do have some of the combos in the shop as well.
I saw that, yeah.
They're sharp looking amps. Like if you look at them, you know, they look good, and obviously then you pick them up and plug them in, they perform as well. But yeah, they definitely look more on the boutique side.
Yeah,
So-
and we wanted to, I think, as a brand, because we've had a lot of success with our ID Core range and Debut, which is our kind of entry level price points. We've had a lot of success in the mid and to the higher end, but it was starting to get a little bit in history, and then we wanted to remind people that we can make high end stuff. So this was there was also that in our minds. It's like, let's remind people what we're capable of doing when we throw money at something. You know, so there was that as well. So this as a product. So if you run a studio, if you work in a recording studio, you can literally mount this head. You can just put that in your studio, go direct, straight in. You can. It's got within this. There's obviously a reactive load. There's Cabrig Simulator, which is our own software where you can essentially connect the amp to your computer, download the software, and it launches a cab simulator bit of software. And you can move a virtual mic around a virtual studio, have different cabs, open back, close back, 9 or 10 different mics, brands of mics, and then you can save the settings to the amp and take it with you and go and.
So is that foot switchable or no? Well, it wouldn't
Cab
be because
sim
it's in
part.
the cab sim part's going to be in line.
That'd be-
Sorry, never mind.
Well, it'd be the
What's
DI
the word?
part. How many of those
Yeah.
can you save though on?
Yeah.
On
I believe it's 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
yeah. So it's a great product for that reason. And the coolest thing is the logo lights up when you turn it on. So you know,
Yes, which we'll
mic
see
drop.
in just a moment.
Which we'll see in just a minute
Yeah.
as we fire it up.
Yeah. So
I think the only main question we did have was from Ben from earlier. He was just asking right now with the St. James, how many models does Blackstar like currently, or how many series of models does Blackstar currently have?
okay, so as in variations of St. James.
I wouldn't say like total, but just like the number of series of amps. Like what's like the core line right now? Of
Oh,
Blackstar?
okay. As a
So,
brand.
as a whole, yeah,
As
as
a
a
brand.
whole.
Okay.
Like
so,
how many models? Yeah, like because I know each series is gonna have half a dozen variants. Or
Okay,
whatever,
so I'll just give you the title, the banner of each series. So obviously we would probably start with Artisan, and St. James are kind of at the top of the tree.
Okay.
So St. James is our flagship product. Artisan has always been there as a high-end product. So those are our kind of top kind of tier. Then we have HT Club Venue, so 40, 60 watt, big, giggable, proper valve amps. We also have then our high-end kind of digital stuff, which is called Silverline. As you come through, you come into the smaller HT stuff. So we do like an HT20, an HT5, and we even do an HT1, which is a little thing like that, which is super, super cool.
Yeah, I think we had one of those.
Yeah, they're a
great.
great series. We have a series called Studio 10, which you can get as a 6L6, EL34, KT88. And then coming into the kind of more entry level, you come into the ID Core, which is like bread and butter. Like our dealers sell all the time because they're a great beginner's amplifier with loads of modulations and effects on there. And then our very entry level product is Debut. one thing to not forget, we sell quite a lot of acoustic product as well. It's not something that people associate with Blackstar all the time, but I like to. I see Jeffrey saying, "I love the versatility of my Silverline." Yes. Yeah. So on the acoustic side, we have a Acousticore and we have a series called Sonnet. So we do some acoustic product, and probably one of the best selling series as well, particularly on the entry level, is our Fly amps.
Oh yeah, the little mini plug-in guys.
So we work with a charity, and we've put a whole bunch of. Colin knows this. We've put some stuff together. We've put packages together for this charity because we give the guitars. The charity, what they do is they get guitars from us, but we put a package together with an amplifier and an electric guitar and stuff like that. Give it to kids all over the place that have kids at children's hospitals and stuff, cancer centers and stuff like that. And what we did is the Blackstar Fly is what we use.
Oh, man,
because we're able to put that all in the box with the guitar, with the amp. The kids, if they're in a hospital bed, they can have it. They could also use it as we got.
That's
the Bluetooth
powerful
one.
stuff, man.
So
that's
it's a really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because it sounds good for what it is.
Yeah.
For this wee little amp.
There was a Phil. I was going to grab something here.
It's pretty cool.
There was a Phil X video. I'm sure some of your customers on there follow him on Instagram. Last year, he put this video on. We didn't ask him to do it because he just uses Fly when he's jamming in his hotel room. Mm-hmm. And he put the Fly 3 in the sink of the hotel.
Cool. Oh, okay.
And I think he starts the video, and you don't see that, and it's just like this wall of sound, and he's just like rocking out, and then it's like he picks it out of the sink, and it's this little Fly,
That's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, that's a good idea.
But we do those. Oh, we got a Fly here. Look,
it's even got
It's even got the British flag on there.
Good old Union Jack.
Yeah. One key thing that I had remembered to mention, but I'm glad that Colin put this down there, is Amped, which is our. Is that going to be in shot? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So,
blade, sorry.
if you'll indulge me, I'll just tell you a little bit about these. So these are a brand new line for us. So this is kind of in line with what your man was asking about. What do we do? What are the lines? Amped is essentially an amp on the floor. It's a 100 watt amp. We do 3. We have Amped 1, 2, and 3. They are not sequels. They are different products. Mm-hmm. Amped 1 is essentially a 100 watt amplifier on the floor with reverb and a few different response valves, but it's powered. So you can literally take that thing. Amped 1 is about that big. You can Google it now as you're watching this, people. Get a picture of Amped 1. It's white. It's a nice bit of gear. You can take that to a gig, put it in your gig bag, take your guitar. That's all you need. The best part of it is as well, one of the other cool parts is that you can actually run and power your pedal board from
right off of
this. So if you imagine an Amped 1 being like that big, you stick that at the end of your pedal board, and then you've got your effects. When you're doing a gig, you pick your pedal board up, you take your guitar, and you're out the door. It's
pretty solid.
It's proper.
So how many pedals can that power? What kind of milliamps?
Well, it goes up to 500. Yeah, so it's 500.
Okay. So you can get a few.
Yeah, you can
analog stuff in there.
You can daisy chain some stuff. Yeah, you can get some stuff going on. So what we then do with Amp 2, which we've got over there somewhere. Essentially, that's like Amp 1 but with effects. So there's the modulation on there. There's some really cool effects. I love Amp 2. I just recorded a record myself, shameless promotion, and I just used I used Amp 2 as the guitar tone for the whole record.
Oh, cool. Okay. And what's
go ahead and plug it if you want.
Plug it.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
It's just under my name. It's not out yet. I've got a record out from last year. It's just James Berryman on Spotify or iTunes, whatever.
Okay.
I've got a new single out next week, but it's just for fun, But I used Amp 2 for literally. I took it into the studio. Amp 2 looks very much like this, about the same size. I took it in and I put it on the desk, and the guy that I was working with was like, "What's that?" I said, "That's my guitar tone for this record."
That's cool.
And then just to put a bow on this, so I don't talk for too long, Amp 3 is not as many effects, but it's the gnarly version. This is the gain monster. Okay. The gain plus gain. This is the kitty. So I just wanted to bring that up because it's a really important part of the
Well, and that is a good distinction too, because we had a few customers that do always wonder, like, if it was sequels, like you said, you know.
Yeah, we get that.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But I think, I think explaining it that way, especially it makes sense because each one is basically building on the last one where the last one left off.
Yeah,
so that does make sense more.
And also, you might be the sort of person that's like, I've got my board.
Yeah,
I just need that. Yeah, so that's amp 1.
Yeah.
If you want a 3-channel amp on the floor, amp 3.
Yeah.
If you just want an amp with effects, amp 2. It's try and keep it.
It's a good point for a lot of different people.
Yeah, and some people are doing fly gigs. You know, I mean, you can easily travel with these. Also, if you're,
Well, you could do
you get to a certain
still
point.
do a speaker too. So
so you
get two options.
you get the both. That way, you make the sound guy happy.
You still get stage
and,
one.
and so he doesn't yell at you to turn everything down, but you still have basically a monitor for you.
Yeah.
But at some point, people also, we see this a lot in the shop. There's guys that are like, I just don't want to carry that.
Exactly.
I don't want to carry this 212 around anymore. Like
Exactly.
I'm done hauling.
Hauling ass for 20 years.
It seems to be an age thing.
Yeah.
Like Dylan and younger. They're
Yeah.
like, we'll still carry everything in.
Although I got a dog.
Dylan and older.
Yeah.
You start getting. I think what happens is you start getting in
For
like
sure.
early 30s, and all of a sudden it's like, maybe I don't want to carry this 412 into this club, up the back stairs.
That's it, man.
Through the kitchen into the postage stamp that we're going to play on.
Yeah, exactly.
Postage stamp. That's the
You
name.
know.
That's a good name for a venue, actually. Right? I like that.
That's
But
3.
That's
Yeah,
three.
yeah.
We got 3
Yeah,
good things.
we're on a roll
do.
today. Yeah.
Did we say what our band name was?
No, I think
that was
the
they missed
we did.
it,
That was the
yeah.
other one. You
So
should
that
explain
was
it.
what was it? The album was going to be Somewhere in Utah by the band Kerosene Spritzer, right?
Yeah,
Kerosene Spritzer.
That's our
Yeah.
punk rock band.
Yeah.
We're going to start that.
Kerosene Spritzer.
That's our punk rock band. Album's Somewhere in Utah.
Yeah.
That's a solid album name.
It is.
It's
Somewhere in Utah.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I got footage too on my phone from driving.
Well, because weird shit happens in Utah, so you just it
Yeah,
all
man.
works.
It
Every time I go through there, something weird always happens. Whether it's a car, or like a tire blowing up, or
Yeah, we got areas
always
in the UK
something
like
weird.
that.
Yeah.
Well, it's very vast. It's like I feel like if you drive through Utah at night, and if you woke up the next day and feel like you got probed by an alien,
It probably
and it
happened.
probably did.
Yeah.
That probably actually.
In fact, that's the
happened.
first single, isn't it? Probed by
Probed
an
by-
alien.
Yeah, probably. Somewhere in Utah, yeah.
By the time we wrap
Just
up this
outside
whole
of
stream,
Ogden.
Mate,
we're gonna at least have an EP with a title.
we're away.
Yeah.
We already got the amps.
I was going to
Exactly.
say,
I
we've
mean,
got...
we're good.
Start,
got
yeah,
amp
just start
3
rolling.
So I want to make a quick point because normally, obviously, we started much later today than we normally do. And we
Unintended,
usually
yeah.
unintended because we didn't
Yeah,
start.
I thought
we
we-
started
yeah.
on on time.
Yeah.
We just didn't have it available for you guys to watch just yet. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna keep rolling on. I know that normally we go over to Texas Toast Guitars and let those guys do their thing, and then Dylan Talks Tone does his thing. They're gonna still do their thing, but we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, man. I mean,
because we're here and we have
I
questions.
see some
and-
questions on there, yeah.
So we're just going to keep rolling through it. If I know some of you guys, jump off to another live stream, and we understand it's all cool.
Yeah.
Just
Even if you
circle
just
back
catch us
around.
again, catch
Yeah,
us.
circle back around and watch the other half of this because we're going to go for a bit. We're going to try to plug these things in. Hopefully nothing blows up because we move stuff around.
I see Terry 3G's question. I'd like to take a pass at that if you
Yeah,
want.
that seems like a pretty good question. So let's...
Do you want me to read that out? Can
Yeah,
people,
sure.
Can people see that? So what is James's view of some amp repair people on YouTube wanting to boycott Blackstar? Let me put my eyes on. I'm 40 now, sorry. Share the schematics. Okay, so there's a thing that goes around occasionally. Every now and again it comes up through different forums and stuff that Blackstar don't share their schematics and that's bad and it's not true. Okay, firstly, it's not true. The main reason that we don't and won't just give them out is it's dangerous, man. Like
Okay.
look, Paul Stevens that designed the St. James has told me so many times. He said, "I electrocute myself every day. Every day of my life, I'm electrocuting myself because." And this is a guy
That's a goal I have.
yeah,
It's a goal I have not to achieve.
not to achieve.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
don't-
maybe
yeah.
that'll keep him going. I mean, we don't know. He might live to be like 112 because he's getting shocked a little bit every
Yeah, I
day.
mean, he looks a bit like Doc from Back to the Future, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So-
It's always that guy though that lives forever.
yeah. But so that's a dude that designs amps for a global brand, and he's catching himself every day. There's something going on. So truth be told, that's the reason why we don't do it.
Okay.
If we have a legitimate Blackstar repair authorized center, they get the schematics.
That was going to be my
Yeah, that
next
would- well,
question.
that
Like,
would
do
make
you
sense.
have authorized dealer,
Yeah.
your authorized repair areas?
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you,
If it's out,
like that makes sense
yeah.
to give them, that way they can fix it.
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a guessing game.
If it's out of warranty, that's what will happen. If it's in the UK, if it's warranty, it just comes back. We're just like, send it back. We'll look at it.
So how many Blackstar repair facilities do you have in the U.S. currently? Are there a bunch of them, or are they very limited on what they do?
You'd know about that. What's Colin? Is the Blackstar repair authorized centers?
100%. We have an extensive network that are certified by Korg USA as service centers.
Yeah.
100%. That number, honestly, is upwards of 300 and some odd.
Okay, that's what I mean. Like, are there plenty of? Because I can understand people maybe being upset if there's a limited amount of
course
places to go.
Yeah.
But if there's 300, I mean
We qualify.
that's quite a few.
Yeah, we qualify them. I actually have a list of names of people here locally too that we can go to if somebody is local. But we are not just. If I get an email that comes through on said channel, can I get a schematic? No. I mean, you have to have a little bit of caliber and some wherewithal and know-how to be able to get.
we don't want people to electrocute themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. Exactly.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, even then though, like a lot of that technology is becoming proprietary. Because I mean, pedal companies are getting to be that way too. Like the way that they manufacture stuff isn't just like not everybody has those means. So like sometimes it makes more sense for either authorized spots or the manufacturer themselves to just take care of it. Because like that way, like because a lot of that stuff, so like even you were saying with some of the tone stack stuff going on, it's like all that stuff can be changed, but it's not. If you're not familiar with it, it's like it makes more sense to just let the company handle it.
Yeah, and we do look, we make thousands of products a year. We sell globally in every territory in the world, essentially. You make that amount of products in any industry, there's a percentage that goes wrong. It's just what happens with the world. We're not immune. We're not.
Well,
But
shipping's the worst.
Yeah, shipping,
These are on boats and planes. And
exactly.
Was it knocked around all over the damn place?
I can't remember. Was it Colin? Was it you that was telling me, Colin, about the forklift?
No, that was me.
That was you. Yeah.
We've had things skewered before.
Oh, yeah.
Skewering and out.
Yeah. We've got some stories of some.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
man.
had so we're a Fender dealer as well, and we got one in literally. It was a deluxe reverb.
Yeah.
And the whole cabinet was just.
Yeah. On the piss.
It was all just. It was broken apart by the time we got it, and we're like, where'd you guys drop this from? That it completely broke.
How many
the cabinet?
times? Yeah.
Put that many fragile labels on, and they don't.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
They look at that going, three fragiles? Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Mate, honestly, I've got some stories as well. We've had stuff unboxed. We've had, it's. So there's a certain percentage of stuff where that's just collateral damage, and unfortunately, because of because of that and the supply chain, occasionally that stuff ends up in customers' hands if it's been misdelivered or it's been damaged upon arrival. It's very hard. There's not a lot we can do with that once it's. But what we will do a lot of the time is we will. The customer is the most important thing. So we will make sure that the customer's put right. We'll sort out whatever we need to sort out with the shippers afterwards. We're like, we'll do that. Let's get this either fixed or replaced. And then, because as a dealer, you know this yourself, you're front line. And we want to support you because it's very easy. And I've worked in this industry a long time, and most people are cool as F, right? However, I have experienced things where a brand hides behind the retailer, and like something's kicked off over here, and the retailer's here, and the brand's here, and they're once removed from the end user, and they're like, he's got it. Talking about the dealer, he'll look after it.
We've had an experience like that before.
There you go. So and it happens all around the world, and we don't. But as a brand, and our distributors and Korg are exactly the same. They're our brothers and sisters over here. Like we're all the same. We're like, no. we'll put you right, and then whatever we
And then
need to
we'll
sort
figure it
out,
out
we'll
internally.
figure out. We'll do
Yeah.
that later.
We do that as a retailer.
There you
Same
go.
thing, you know, not maybe brand specific.
Yeah,
But we
just
do
as-
that like,
yeah.
hey, a customer has an issue, you know, we'll talk about it. I'm like, just let's fix his problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure out what the hell happened to make what that problem was.
Exactly.
You know, and sometimes you take a hit, sometimes, but you make, if you're, you know, customer focused,
Yeah, exactly.
then just let's just make sure dude's good.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we'll figure out what happened and why it happened, and hopefully not do it again.
And,
So,
yeah.
I mean, we deal with that on a retail level, if, you know, and you guys, of course, as manufacturers,
Yeah.
you guys can't make everything 100%
it's
all the
important.
time, and it can never make it from,
So what we do, yeah.
you know, to its final destination always.
Well, we have some procedures, which I don't want us to get too boring, but hopefully people might find this interesting because this is like I'm kind of peeling back the curtain of what it's like to work for a brand and a global brand. We have some procedures where they're internal procedures where if a product has gone to market and there is a percentage that it's coming back,
Oh, yeah.
it's like a hard lockdown. And it's a
Yeah, like just a recall.
investigate, solve, put right, and then get back out, and then analyze. And it's not just okay, that's done. There's then okay, where are we 2 months in? Where are we 6 months in? Is that still happening? No, great, but let's monitor. We're really, really hot on it. We really try our best to keep that
And that's a
reliability.
Yeah,
that's
like
a
if
really
they're-
good way to. I mean, that's good to know that you guys put out a product, then you're seeing the after launch reports and making adjustments accordingly.
Yeah.
Because I think we all know that there are products out there that have been on the marketplace for years that we know are still fucked.
Well, yeah, they
You know
kind
what I
of
mean?
just,
Like
they
they-
released it the best they could, and then it
and
just stayed that
they're
way.
still
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, hey, that's a known problem with this thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, that's what you get.
I think it's
and
like-
unfortunately, you got one that has that problem.
Yeah.
It's a really important thing to do because look, you know yourself because you're a brand, right? You are a brand.
I think so.
Yeah, no, you are, man. Like, and the thing is, like, you put like, you told me your story and it was inspiring, frankly, how you've built what you've built, and we're the same. You know, we came, like I said, from these embers from Marshall, and you spent all those years building something and you can lose it in a second.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you handle something wrong, and particularly these days with the internet. Somebody goes on a forum, somebody makes a YouTube video, it goes viral, and it's like, catch
Well,
yourself.
yeah, public opinion within this industry moves so much quicker than because I can imagine back in the day, like things could start happening 3 to 6 months down the line before you'd
Before
really
you
know
finally get it.
what was happening. Whereas like stuff's now, like I'm sure you guys get feedback as soon as you send it out to like
yeah.
reviewers or anybody that's doing anything like that, and then
Yeah.
let alone the customer. So I'm sure it's pretty instant now.
Well, it is, and we have a whole team, literally a whole team of people that send stuff to artists and influencers.
Yeah.
I've never seen the emails for Amped, because we all kind of get CC'd on the emails for stuff that's going out has just been off the charts. The amount of gear, and we're not giving it away, by the way, it's loan stock, so these guys aren't getting gifts, but it goes,
Which
and
is
if they want to buy it,
Well,
they can buy
no,
it,
that's
but
good, but
It's
that means
good
if they
because
review it, they probably
they
like
review it, they
Yeah.
send
Yeah.
it back,
Yeah.
it stays in our loan stock.
Yeah.
And but the point being that whenever you're looking for, as you know, your customers here, if they obviously shop with you, that's brilliant, but sometimes they want to know about a product ahead of time. There might be some influencers that have got it. We make sure that our product is in the right hands at the right time to educate, to inspire customers, to then pick up the phone to you and go, hey, I've seen this AMP2 thing. Can you get me one of those?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We usually, do you got one?
Yeah,
You know, and
exactly.
that's why
Great.
we like to try to make sure
You got the representation of the
that we got stuff available
Thanks, mate, you're a hero.
for when it for when things get released or
Yeah.
you know,
I
what?
mean, yeah,
You good?
So, I'm sure.
Because I'm still good. I'm still
yeah.
Yeah,
still
I'm
doing
on pretty much out of
last
both
couple-
coffees now. So.
yeah. The last couple of days have been way too early. So
It's actually vodka.
Yeah, straight up.
hey, you got to do what you got to do. You know.
Oh, you went New York then? I like that.
Yeah, look, that happens.
Hey.
It happens. They see it more often. The guys in the shop see it more often than
I love it.
them probably. But
Cool.
So there was another question in here. Oh, hey, Metalhead Hippie, by the way. What's happening, dude?
Yeah, we had, what's it, are you talking about Nothing Hears?
There was one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that one.
That, and I think we also have one from Charles 75.
Oh, let's go to Charles and then do
What's the
Nothing Hears.
bass in the middle? So does it cost a company like Blackstar more to have bass, middle, and high-end products more than if they were just making high-end ones?
Oh yeah, so like, does it cost more to kind of spread the line?
I mean, what I would say about that is we look at stuff objectively, and if something's not, look, we are a business, like you are a business.
Yeah.
We make a product. I've explained how and the love and the care that goes into that, but ultimately we have to make profit from that to stay profitable as a business. So we will always look at our line of products, and if there's something that's not moving very well for dealers, we don't want to stuff dealers with stuff that's then not going to move through. If it's not caught fire, if it's not quite right. Luckily, genuinely, it hasn't happened very often, but we will trim the fat, as it were, and we'll go, okay, so yeah, that had a shelf life. That's maybe not so current. Let's stop building those. So to kind of answer the question, sounds a bit vague, but the answer is no. It doesn't really. There's no real difference in cost, because what essentially we're trying to do is cater to different budgets,
Right.
but try our best to not scrimp on tone and sound and value for money. So it's expensive either way you do it. If we just made high-end stuff, it's still expensive.
Well, high-end stuff means you make more with selling less, but then your pool of customers is much smaller.
Exactly.
Well, and your time invested is probably a lot higher.
Right, and that way you're hitting, like you said, the whole market kind of graph, if you will, of high-end, middle, starter. You're covering a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And sometimes that stuff that, and this is with any manufacturer, whatever it is, toasters or whatever.
It's the same.
Usually the products that are kind of in the middle are somewhat the bread and butter, because those are the things that people use a lot of, and they also have a good margin in them, and that helps support.
Yeah, support
the
you,
top.
support us.
Yeah,
and
because the
customers.
dealer is the same thing. If we don't have the sell through, doesn't do us any good, doesn't do you guys any good. So
on that point, not to get too MI retail about this, but Ian and Paul and Joel, who's our marketing director, he was ex-artist liaison at Marshall, essentially our board of directors that I work with. We all have this philosophy of, it's going to sound corny, but we mean it, is that you are part of the Blackstar story. Because if we make a product and then we manufacture a product and then we distribute a product and then we get that far and it stops, that's half the story.
right.
It has to sell through with you, and then we resupply, and then you sell through and you have happy customers because they're getting a great value for money product. You're solvent, we're solvent. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Right. So
then you're also gathering brand loyalists along the way, because the person that buys Club 40 because he uses it for a certain thing may go, hey, this St. James fills a spot that I don't have, but I also need to get one of those little Blackstar ID cores because I'm out camping or I'm on tour or I'm doing a thing. So you end up getting those customers longer term.
Yeah, exactly. And we're very open with the other brands as well. The other brands being your Marshalls, your Orange. Like I said earlier, we have a great relationship with. It's not a day-to-day relationship with Marshall, but in the UK at a trade show we go for beers with those guys. There's no bad blood, and we talk a bit of shop, but generally we're just mates and we get on with the Orange guys. I mean, I used to look after the dealer network in the UK in the South, and I would sometimes say, "Great, you've got Orange. We work really well next to Orange, as a and/or, as a kind of perfect." And dealers go, "Oh," they're kind of surprised. It's like, no, we don't want you to be a Blackstar shop,
right?
But we want you to be able to give your customers the choice. And I've heard people at Blackstar say this. It's like, If you want that sound that is the Orange thing or the Marshall thing, have at it, because that's a great product. If you want something a little bit different from that, and you want that's where we fit in, and that's our little slice of the trade of the industry.
It's kind of like if you go to an ice cream store or an ice cream shop.
Yeah.
You have all the different flavors. It doesn't mean that the other flavors are bad. It's just
Exactly.
I need to have black raspberry. Here's vanilla, okay? Yeah. And then you get to choose what you want. I mean, it's the same way with what we do with all the pedals and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
We do relate it to food a lot
flavors.
because everybody has their own. Or even like scrambled eggs, I use this one a lot because everybody spices it just a little different. So it's like even though fundamentally it might be the same thing, everybody has a little bit of a difference, and that's what makes it that. And a lot, some people's ears connect with a certain brand or whatever it might be, and like that. Like even you were saying with the ISF technology, like that's something that like if that was on your amp and you started with it, who's to say you wouldn't get very used to that to the point that like you would stick with Blackstar just for that feature,
for that thing.
Yeah, because I know we do have a lot of customers that are kind of like that, where like that something that they didn't realize became fundamental to who they are as a guitar player was because that was just part of the amp and the setup that they had. So.
And we do. And by the way, you guys got an open invitation anytime you're in the UK. Come to HQ. We'll give you a tour. We'll go out for steaks and beers.
We need to go there. Then we need to go up to Scotland.
Yeah.
I gotta go. We gotta go visit there. And
if you can carve out some time for us, you've got an open invitation. But
we'll try to maybe we'll do that like an episode of like. We'll just take this on
what
the road.
What the F.A.Q in England?
What the F.A.Q in England?
F.A.Q-ing up England.
What's happening in England?
F.A.Q-ing off in England.
Yeah, there you go. But what I was going to say was we've got titles coming up. We are on fire. At HQ, you'll see Orange, you'll see Fender, you'll see DeVille's, you'll see JCA, whatever. Because Ian says this all the time, and a lot of the other guys do. The most important bit of equipment we have at HQ is an AB box.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, that does
totally make sense.
We try to do that even at the shop because like otherwise you're trying to compare it to a memory, which doesn't work.
Which never
works.
Like
like trying to compare anything to a memory, it doesn't work because like your brain, even if it's just like 8-10 seconds to switch something, that's enough time that your brain kind of forgets
playing
what
tricks
was.
on you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like you're gonna have lasagna for dinner. And you're just like, what the hell was that? There was the AB box. I don't know why I went with this. Maybe it was. I was
proximity to the
Italian. Channel the
Italian. That's what happened. It was like lasagna. It must be. Gotta be lasagna, right?
Yeah. What's the problem? Guy wants lasagna.
Actually, continue.
And you
carry on.
So you're having your lasagna. Yeah.
No, it's true though, because that's what we have as a thing. It's like so it's funny. Like I said before, I go into dealers and they're like, Orange. It's like it's not a dirty word, man. They're great. It's great stuff. But if you want something a little bit left of field, a little bit different, modern. The thing is, like I'll just say this: we don't have those pictures of Jimmy Page leaning against a Blackstar stack.
Right.
'Cause we weren't around then. We don't have the heritage brand thing. What we do have is the new, and that's what drives us. New. How can we be better? How can we make game changing stuff? And therein lies our rub. That's our MO.
You're looking to the future and the future guitar players because these are conversations that we've had, and I brought it up. I'm like, there's certain guitar brands, there's certain flavors of sound and tone that are kind of reminiscent, like they're really cool and they're great, but it is a bit,
it's almost too associated
boomer.
with something.
It's boomer stuff. It's old. It's classic rock, which we love classic rock. Mm-hmm. The tones from the 70s are amazing. The shit that we listen to, like that stuff is great, but that isn't necessarily where things are headed. And so as a brand that's newer, why chase the old stuff when there's going to be people that are 20 that are going to be doing stuff that's with MIDI and with synths and that's mixing it together with the guitar playing because that's what they love to play, and they're putting it all together. And if you're looking at a product that's forward thinking, then that's being added to it because there's other amp companies that are newer that also have technology in there that are doing that stuff because the people that are using them, the majority, or that are going to use them for the next 20 years or more, are okay with all that.
Yeah.
And the guys that are like, I won't play anything unless it's got a fucking tube in it.
Gotta have a tube, damn it.
Gotta have a tube, otherwise it ain't shit.
Integrity.
Yeah, well, those guys are going to
We get South Park too.
Well, they're based out of here, you know that.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Casa Bonita's down the street.
I looked it up. I looked it up before I came here. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's a Disneyland and Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
The literal South Park it's not disappointing, but it's really just a big field. It's just a big open field.
The
literal South Park.
There's nothing there.
It's a strip. But,
But if you watch South Park, and we've mentioned this before, a lot of the references that they make are basically Denver.
Oh, wow.
So it's like there's a
really?
lot of reference. So if you're watching, in the UK, like there's stuff that you're like, oh, that's funny because it's a funny joke. We laugh harder because we know exactly what they're talking about.
Exactly, yeah.
We know the neighborhood they're talking about.
or the suburb they're talking about.
Or the suburb, or the person,
We have a few shows. There's an old show that's finished now, just to go off on a tangent a bit, called Only Fools and Horses. Have you ever heard of it? Google it, people. Only Fools and Horses. It's a 80s, 90s sitcom type vibe, with a live audience and that. And it's a Cockney thing. It's about two brothers and their granddad. They live together and they're like wheelers and dealers and hustlers. And he's like, this
sounds good already.
He's like, mate, honestly, like the Del Boy, who's like the older brother, who's like the star of the show, played by a guy called David Jason, who's a classic actor, like awesome dude. He's a national treasure. He puts on this. He speaks really posh in real life, but he puts on this like, all right, this time next year we'll be millionaires, and they never are. They never are. But that's funny because that's all around London, and the places, and the same thing. These guys are going to Clapham, and you're like Clapham Junction Tube, and you're like, I got to work on that tube. It's cool. But I see another question up there. Do you want to work through that one?
Which, the Nothing Here.
Yeah.
That's the one?
Yeah, hopefully he's still watching.
Oh, okay. The St. James used a phonetic speaker, which seems to be lighter to a traditional speaker magnet, yeah. I used a neodymium, before, but I don't think so is the answer to the question in terms of tone. What I can tell you with the speakers in the combo is it is a custom Celestion Zephyr speaker. So we actually we approached Celestion and said, can you make us a super lightweight speaker that does not compromise tone? And they were like, all right, we'll try it. and what they came up with, as far as I know, and I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I heard a rumor in the office that they then kind of liked it so much that they kind of went into making it a thing of their own.
It's like a production model.
Yeah,
like a production thing, but it's a custom one for us. It's called a custom Zephyr.
Oh, okay, cool.
They've trimmed all the fat. It's as light as possible. Talking of light, while I'm on the subject, one of the biggest reasons why St. James is light is switch mode power supply. That's the technology. It's the heaviest thing in your amp is power supply. And
the transformer.
The
right?
transformer, yeah, exactly. So inside, you can make an amp light and then you stick that in there, and
that's why it all leans to one side.
Exactly. When you get to the airport and you've just put that heavy thing in right at the end, and you have to pay the extra $60, it's like that's the thing. You tried really hard, and then you put whatever the hell that brick was in there. So we use switch mode power supplies for St. James to make it lighter.
So where'd the name St. James come from? Where's that derived from?
I will give you the official line, and then to keep the theme going, that I'm giving you a few insider things, I'll tell you what it is.
It's like I'm known as a bit of a saint
at
Black.
It's kind of all about me.
That's why.
I do some nice stuff for people.
I'm not being big-headed, but
I've only got 2 out of my 3 miracles, but it's close enough. We're rounding up.
It's kind of about me. It's about me. No, it's St. James is an area of Northampton.
Okay.
North Amp Town, where we're based, where everything's designed. It's a historic area of Northampton, and we thought it was quite cool because obviously we're from there. It's a cool, old, historic. We were talking about before we came on about how old England is, weren't we, and some of the
Yeah.
some of the history. So this is a really, really old part of the town. The unofficial line, can you guess, St. James, who that might be a little nod to? Mr. Marshall?
Oh, Jim Marshall.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, makes
okay.
sense. Yeah, okay.
So
Alright.
it's a little
That's
bit
cool.
of a,
Yeah,
just a tip of the hat.
yeah.
Nice. I didn't.
None of that plays together.
Yeah, totally. That makes sense.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
So, but keep that to yourself.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell the internet.
Do not
Yeah.
let this go onto the internet. We're not on the internet, right? This is
No, this is all private. This
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
This is
Yeah,
this
it's
is
just
an
like
internal-
before where nobody was watching. Yeah,
This is just between us, the guys in the warehouse, HR.
Yeah.
exactly.
And
you know,
Colin.
just
And
yeah,
Colin.
Colin.
Yeah, yeah.
Colin's it.
Colin's like, eh?
Yeah.
All right. So we got any other questions? Did we wanna plug anything in, or do we
How
wanna?
much of
What
the
would we wanna?
tone of the 70s is from the gear, and how much
Versus the recording process. That is a good question. I honestly wonder that a lot too, because like these days, you can make direct comparisons a lot easier, you know, than previous times, and I do feel like a big part of the recording or what it was recorded with has just as much, because like
Yeah.
even like, you know, I was making that point actually to Goots earlier at the shop, when you listen to like old movie soundtracks and there's a bit of guitar, it almost sounds like there's a chorus, but it's like, you know, it was recorded before there would have ever been a chorus, so it's like it was just a shitty tape.
It was a
that
tape
they happened,
that-
that they happened to, you know, they used that one and it was a little warped, and that's why it sounds. You know,
It's got that like the spaghetti westerns.
exactly, yeah,
Have
yeah.
that
Yeah.
warpy kind of.
Yeah, because everything was
sound to
made
'em.
cheaply, but it gives it this vibe. So.
It makes me laugh. You're so right. It makes me laugh because you think about "Satisfaction" by the Stones, how out of tune that guitar is. It's like, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's almost as signature as it gets, but yet it was sort of, you know,
It's
Keith
kind of-
even said it was not supposed to be what, you know.
It's kind of on the edge
Yeah.
of being out. You know, it's kind of pretty close to being out of tune, but it works. And Springsteen "Glory Days," that intro, that kind of that changes. He's bent the string a little bit over, but it gives it soul. It gives it it's human.
That's a thing that why I believe, you know, the stuff from the old days, 70s, 80s, stuff like that, even earlier than that, a lot of us go, man, what a great song. That thing has got there's something about it that's just magic. And that I think the stuff that we hear today gets missed because we do everything in here. We put a drum machine on and it's just fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And it's not like your drummer who just got done doing a line and he's half fucking loaded.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I love this groove.
Dude, you're speeding up.
Yeah, and the groove is kind of doing this through the whole song. It's like a little fast, a little slow.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, the break's a little weird, but it all works. But the energy, when you listen back to it,
It's
like,
palpable.
the energy is there because you can. It's like Exile on Main Street. You can almost smell the fucking booze out of that. You know what I mean? You listen, and you're like, I can almost smell the drugs.
Yeah,
when I listen to this.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly, man. No, that's the thing.
And nowadays we get everything, and everybody does everything with a. Not saying a click track, but like, you know, easy drum.
No, but people do strive for perfection
And
when perfection's not what the human ear really wants to
That's
hear.
not where the fun
Yeah.
is.
It's not where the fun
You
is,
know.
and it, you know, you look at stuff. I read a book years ago that was on about the loudness war, the war on loudness. So mastering at loud volumes. And I like loud music as much as the next guy, but when stuff these days is mastered, and you see like, in this book, it was amazing. It had it had two comparisons. You're looking at the
WAV files.
WAV files, right?
Mhm.
The first comparison was a really aggressive Sonic Youth track from like 92, 93.
Mhm.
And it was like, if that's the box that the WAV file sits in, it was like this. It was like, yeah, man, that's pretty gnarly. And then it had a Black Eyed Peas track, and it was like,
Just a bar. Yeah.
and it's like Sonic Youth, aggressive song, Black Eyed Peas, completely the wrong way. It just
Yeah.
because and I'm not, you know, I'm not dissing the music, but at the same time, there is a little bit of that human thing missing, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes.
I think that's what we kind of miss.
Yeah,
I think that's where we're missing a bit of that magic. The same way is like when we listen to MP3s compared to like a WAV file or listening
Squashed.
Well, it's like
or
people
listening
do
to
make
vinyl.
people
Yeah.
do make
You're
fun
like-
of hipsters for the analog thing, but at the same time, like
It
there
does
is
sound
something to that.
Yeah.
Like there really is.
Mate,
Like,
I've got a beard and I'm wearing a check shirt.
well, no,
Dave-
listen, I
Dave's
mean, I've
close
got
to
a beard and
hipster
I've got the
territory.
hat, like so I get lumped in that shit too. But it's like there really is
I
something
just bought a
to
fancy coffee. Like,
It's like,
come on, man.
yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things of
We're,
No, I
on,
hear
we're
you.
on the edge.
Exactly, yeah.
Right now, yeah.
Well, we
I might
are,
be
but-
over the edge
yeah.
by now.
But yeah, no, I think there is definitely something to the old analog stuff.
You're right.
and
No,
just
you
the
are.
Quality, yeah.
It's a good point you make, and we're aware of it with what we do. And just to put a bow on the whole talking about Blackstar thing, one thing I want to get across very, very quickly is the reason we make products is because of music.
Yeah.
And we want to inspire people to play and be the best that they can be, live their best musical life, and feel inspired to write. And as corny as it sounds, it's true. Ian and Joel, who is one of our directors, other members of the Blackstar team are all in a band.
That's awesome, though.
And like, I don't mean like, oh, it's the director's band. They're playing with everyone.
Yeah.
From the guy that's answering the phone to one of the girls that's doing the accounts, they're in a band.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool, because it's as amazing a life as these guys have led in building up this brand. Ian still loves to go down on his lunch break, literally 12 o'clock, go down and just hit a big A chord. I've heard him do it. Like, just going out and just play.
Well, I think that's what it should. Like you said, it's still about the music. It's like at the shop, like most of the guys play in a band.
Yeah.
Or everybody's.
We're always
all
all
of us have
working on
played in a
projects
band, or everybody's working on a project or something. A few of our guys have gone out on tour and stuff like that. So, but at the end of the day, it's like, we sell this gear and we have all this cool stuff, but it really is like, no matter what, we still want to just go do a band thing.
Exactly.
Like all this whole thing with this getting in the building and everything. It's been 2 years and we're getting close. And I just can't wait to get in here,
Awesome, by the way.
so that I can put a band thing back together, because I just want to do that. I have this cool thing, but man,
Yeah,
that's
but ultimately we
so
still want to
me
just use the gear and play. We
Yeah.
all want to have fun with the gear. And I mean, even it makes sense. Honestly, I would imagine as a designer with amps, it would also be really fulfilling to you would want people to be happy with it, because just for a sense of pride, but also I think it's got to be exciting when you finally get feedback, and if it ends up being even better than what somebody wanted or requested.
Oh man, honestly.
So it's like, as a designer, that's got to be
like,
awesome.
I did that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the
I
best.
did that.
Exactly,
Yeah,
that sound wouldn't exist
I
without
did that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really lucky because I get to, along with a few of the other guys in the export team and the sales team, I get to ride the white horse into the village quite a lot, when actually I didn't design anything. I didn't make anything. I didn't design anything. And I'm like, yes, thank you. Keep the compliments coming.
Yeah.
More,
please. That's it. So I always make a point of saying that, like the guys that are doing the do, which is a saying that we have, just do the do. The engineers that are working day in, day out. The guys are staying. They're in there. We start at 8 in the morning. But you've got to be at the office 8 sharp, and they're going. Which some places, let me tell you, in the UK are not starting at 8 o'clock. So straight through till 5. That's the official time. It's, if you need to go, you go. But some of those guys are staying on till 9 o'clock at night, working away, just hammering it, just getting it done.
Well, I know. I imagine there's got to be a certain type that even gets into that stuff to begin with. So I imagine if they hit something, they probably get pretty obsessive about it. They've got to get to the end of that.
Once you get
So
something
I'm that
wrong.
way. Even when I'm putting stuff together, it's like you got to get to it, and it doesn't matter how long it takes or how messed up you are the next day. You got to get it because your brain won't let it go.
So many times we've got a communal kitchen. I'm stood in the kitchen making a coffee, and one of the engineers will come in and I'll go, hey Steve, and he's like, hey man, how are you? And I'm like, yeah, and I'm talking to him, and he's like, and he's gone.
Yeah,
and he's
he's
like,
back in design. He's back
maybe
in
we need
circuit
to
world.
peel back the reverb on that thing a little bit more. And he's like, oh yeah, oh, cool man, yeah, see you later. And he's gone. Because they're on a different frequency, these guys.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Because you got to be a certain type to get into that in the first place. So.
I can relate to that though, because I'm like, I'll be talking about, I'm talking to a customer, and I'm like, if I get that shipped out and we get all this other, I'll be talking, but part of my brain is going,
Yeah.
well, we need to get Dylan to get that order done. I think we should get the.
And then, the other
and
part's
then-
going, maybe I'll have lasagna.
yeah, exactly. Lasagna sounds good.
Cool, man. I was going to say, with regards to the play, and I'm happy to play, but do you know what? There's a guy called Steve Marks that works for us. He's our global product specialist. He's a great buddy of mine, one of my besties, one of my best friends. But he's awesome, and he can make this sing. So if you YouTube the products, I'm happy to play. But if the guys want to really hear it being tested, just YouTube Blackstar St James, or go to the website blackstaramps.com. Steve is the guy. He's the face of the brand, and he plays the hell out of this thing.
Nice.
And
Yeah, if you guys go watch some videos, because I mean, I think if you haven't watched any of the videos in regards to the St. James series, you just call us when you're ready to buy one. It's really what it comes down to, because they're impressive. I mean, that's when I was like, yeah, I got to get some, because I remember I saw the video and I'm like, do we have any? Or where are they coming? Or are they on order? Is any of these going to show up at the shop? What's going on?
we sold out, man. We our first selling to the UK market was solid. And you go, okay, that's cool, but we're the sort of company that we don't just, not to get too businessy, but we don't just look at the sell-in; it's the sell-through, because then our guys, our dealers, it's working, and customers are happy. And then we sell in again, and then we run out of stock, and it's like, whoa, this is catching fire, you know. So we were only out for about a week, but it was really great launch, and it's continued to rise and to rise and to rise, but at a healthy pace. What you don't want a product to come out the gate swinging and then fall off a cliff.
Right. I think with this, what you guys, the way I kind of see it from my perspective is, hey, Blackstar's putting out this cool thing.
Yeah.
And that good response. But I think what it is that people got to get introduced to it. And they get to plug it in and go, okay, this is a new thing. This isn't the same as that thing.
Exactly.
It's not a Club 40.
Well, yeah, because even the last one we sold, the guy was just looking for a lighter amp. That was kind of how the conversation started. And so initially he was thinking solid state, but then when he found out he could go ahead and basically get the same weight but tube, he ended up going with the Blackstar instead, because it was that was a spot where he was older guy, and he just kind of had it with moving the heavier stuff. And so for him, that was how it started, but he hadn't really considered Blackstar because he just wasn't familiar. Once he heard it though, he ended up opting for that over the Fender that he compared it to. And it's like
he was yep, I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, because it's one of those things you really are getting the ease of moving something that feels like it's a solid state weight, but it's like it does put out a nice.
It's not a toy.
Tone.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's nice because some people that are in that market, it's like the amount of tone you're getting for the weight and the ease of use, especially with the DI out too. It's like hits a good spot for a lot of people. I think more people just need to try it.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
it does hit that older market too, like I was saying earlier about the whole boomer stuff with the amps. Like this kind of, it's like this will do the thing that you
when you're ready to retire your
Marshall
to
but now you can actually pick it up and move it to the other room, or you can actually take it somewhere.
There's chiropractors going out of business because of this amp. We did a little tour when we launched it in the UK around dealers, and Steve, who I was just bigging up, Steve Marks, he was doing some of the playing, and we also got some artists like Toby Lee. We've actually just done a Toby Lee custom St James, which is coming out pretty soon. We got him to kind of come and demonstrate it in dealers, and look, I'd be lying. it's for everyone, to be clear, but there was a certain demographic that on the night walked out with them, and they were like, "This means I can continue to gig." One guy said that to me. He said, "I was on the cusp of having to stop playing live, and then it was like, you came out with this, and I can play live now. This is great."
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can grab.
Well, you don't feel like you're sacrificing anything with this. Like that's the main thing, because I feel like with some of the other solid state options that are out there that are lighter, you're sacrificing a lot because of that. Like, yeah, it's the weight that you want it to be, but it's not necessarily the sound you want.
Tone comes first.
Yeah.
Always with Blackstar. Whatever the product is, whether it's a fly or a top end St James or whatever the next things we're working on, tone comes first.
Yeah.
Always. You know, there's a price point we want to hit in a product. Cool. What is the best tone we can squeeze out of that price point?
Makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
and over market share and Excel spread. None of that. It's let's get it sounding right.
Yes.
And I think that's important. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you start running your company just with spreadsheets and numbers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that's when things go to shit.
Yeah.
Because you're compromising the wrong thing.
You have to.
You know,
keep
you
your
should
eye-
look at other stuff. Like maybe,
Yeah.
Don't have the giant party every month at the end of the month.
We have one. We have
Cut that out.
Yeah.
There could be other things that maybe,
Yeah.
maybe we don't need a Ferris wheel in the garden.
Yeah.
We could
yeah.
probably do without, and then
Exactly.
because there are companies that do that. They do
There
weird,
are.
stupid shit, and you're like, well, but this doesn't.
We keep
You
look,
s-
man.
you
We
know.
keep a tight lid on things. We have minimal amount of company cars. The cars we have are sensible, reliable cars. We don't go, if you drive. The thing is, I've worked for a few companies and I've driven to a few interviews. And if I drive to that interview and I'm seeing a certain, I'm a bit of a petrol head, but if I drive in and there's Range Rovers and there's a lot, it's not necessarily a good thing. It's like, hang
Yeah.
on a
Oh
minute.
no, for sure.
Oh,
Let's-
Yeah. No. We
you
definitely
see what
do.
I drive?
No, it's
Like that's
well,
me, 100%.
But that's great, man, and that's the way it should be. Like we try and keep a tight lid on that, so that we can keep making cool stuff for these for your customers. There's not a lot of extravagance. There's a budget for hotels. They always say get somewhere nice, get somewhere clean, eat well, but keep a lid on it. Like don't be going to Hooters every night, racking up
right.
$2,000 on your company car. So I go just once a week. No.
Only
So-
one trip to
Really
New
rain
Jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
one with the membership card. It comes down 30% anyway. So anyway, was there any other? Am I blabbering on too long? Did you want to?
I think that was the main core of the questions.
So if we don't want to play, because I'll redo the thing.
I'd just say
Because
Steve
now
does
we're
it so
looking. We're a little bit over an hour, about an hour and 15 minutes of live time.
Yeah.
I'm okay if you're okay.
well. Yeah, man, I'm good.
Because that was the whole thing, was have a conversation about, about Blackstar, where it started, what you guys do, kind of philosophy and all that kind of
Well,
stuff.
I was gonna say, I felt like I learned quite a bit, so I gotta imagine.
I feel pretty good
Yeah.
about it.
Do you
Gotta
have
imagine the viewers.
I mean,
will.
if you have anything you want to ask me, just ask away. But I think I like to, like I
I
said.
got a question.
Oh, go on.
What's a crumpet?
A crumpet.
I know this is not a Blackstar related question.
Yeah, that's.
But I
the-
just do need to understand, because I don't know
I
exactly.
guess I assumed it was like the cousin of a scone.
it's the code name for one of our secret projects. How did you know that?
Well,
Project Crumpet.
yeah, Project Crumpet. It's a collaboration with Doctor Who. It's something going on. I don't know.
Yeah. So what is a crumpet? So a crumpet is it's a thing that you might have for breakfast, that you might toast, and it's essentially like, if you imagine a muffin, right? Imagine a muffin in cut in half.
Okay.
So not like a whole one. Cut it in half like a burger bun, and on top it's pitted. There's holes.
So is it like a Thomas's English muffin?
Kind of,
thing?
yeah. But what's great?
So it's not just a
Well,
clever. It's not a clever name.
I would
it's an
imagine
English-
that in England they wouldn't call it an English muffin.
It would just be
because
a
that'd
muffin.
redundant.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
slightly different. It's kind of rubbery in a nice way. So what
Oh,
happens
okay.
with a crumpet is it's durable as hell. So like when you kind of butter a muffin and it's like falling up the
Crumbles.
the butter's been in the fridge and it's taking it apart. They're gnarly. You can throw a lot at a crumpet and it will just take it. But what's nice is if you do them hot, which is how you should have them, the butter melts into those holes,
Mhm.
and you can put syrup on them, and it's great.
Ah, okay.
I've
Soften
never
it,
really
that makes
known
sense.
Yeah.
exactly what one.
Okay.
They're kind
And
of
I've
an
heard it.
Easter thing. For some reason, they kind of come out. You can get them all year round, but they're kind of an Easter thing, like with tea cakes and stuff like
Right.
that.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I don't know. It was just I figured.
No.
Well, I got you here. It's kind of like
But
it's
no, we
not
gotta
an
clear
English
up the really
muffin.
important things.
It's kind of like a Long Island iced tea. It's not really, if you're in Long
Yeah,
Island,
exactly.
yeah.
just get an iced tea.
Yeah, we do. We don't have. See, for as an English guy looking to the States, I don't know. I'm like sweeping generalisation, and I'm being careful what I say. Believe me, but we sometimes look at what you guys have for breakfast as dessert sometimes as well, with the pancakes and the syrup and stuff like that.
Ah, yeah.
And we would look at that as kind of like, wow, that's a lot of sugar and sweet. And what we tend to do is have like pretty boring, bland breakfast, if you have breakfast at all. I do, but not everybody does. And then we'll have that stuff like in the afternoon.
Well, see, because like the I don't know, the
Italians
typical English
usually have
breakfast.
like,
Yeah.
Italians have sugary stuff in the morning.
And I
like
love that, by the
biscotti
way.
and stuff like
I'm,
that.
I'm trying to learn Italian, by the way. At the minute, my wife and I love it. I'm not just saying this for your benefit. We went to Rome in December. We're going to Lake Garda this year. We've been to in the Bay of Naples, Ischia Island.
Okay.
And so I'm doing the which reminds me, I've got to do it today. The Duolingo thing, which is
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I'm sitting there, in like hotels, going, uno cappuccino con zucchero, per favore. I just wanna, oh, sorry, my headphones went in. So we're trying to learn it. So we love the American culture and the Italian cultures.
Nice.
Fascinating to us.
I'd like to get there someday. I still haven't gotten there, but I grew up in an Italian neighborhood in New York, so
Yeah,
and I don't remember half of this.
but that's
I don't remember half of it. Like when I was younger, I knew more because it was around.
yeah.
Because so many people spoke it, and I've lost it over the years just because
Really?
there's nobody speaks Italian.
You use
So
it or lose it.
I go home and there's keywords and different
You can
things,
pick
and
up
I can
and-
kind of pick some stuff up. But yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe someday. Maybe I'll retire there. Put a Flipside music.
Rome branch. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah,
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be sweet.
we'd love to.
That we
retire,
could-
obviously.
Fly in. And,
That's the dream, man. That's
Yeah.
the dream. But it's funny that I love that you're interested in England and where I'm from, but equally we are with you, a lot of English people. Because the thing is, like I grew up in the 80s, and every film. Now I'm not saying there wasn't a British film scene, there was, but it was a bit more underground. Movies were American. Every film you put on, it's American culture. Like, wow, cool. So for me,
that wasn't a lot of really what was happening though.
was it not real?
No, some of that wasn't real.
Planes, trains, and automobiles wasn't real.
Well, no, actually, that one's actually
That was
accurate.
probably
that one's
Oh,
actually
that's
pretty
about
accurate.
most real.
probably most.
No, I mean like when they get to the dude in Kansas that shows up with the pickup truck,
That's
is
real.
100%
Yeah, that
real.
is definitely
That's 100% real.
Those aren't
Yeah.
those aren't pillows.
But we looked to that, as a kid of the 80s. So I've been to the States quite a lot in the interim time, but this trip for me is a real thrill because it's like it's been a while since COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I was gonna say, Ike and I both like a lot of the English, movies, a lot of English humor.
Like, there's a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
like
very
a lot of the
big-
English dry humor stuff.
very dry, very dry. Yeah,
Yeah, like-
Well, and the use of, it makes sense, obviously, but the use of language in English humor is so much better usually. It's just
it's more entertaining for we're
Yeah.
big Monty Python fans.
great.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I love some of the older stuff that I remember watching on PBS that used to come. I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
Oh, really?
So all the way back to the classic Tom Baker was my
Oh, really?
my doctor.
Yeah.
So, and I've
yeah.
loved
And
all-
everyone's got their doctor, haven't they? As well?
Yeah. Doctor number 4, and so I love that. But Are You Being Served?
Yeah.
That's classic show. I used
Did
to
you ever
watch
watch
that when I was a kid.
Did you get Dad's Army over here?
No, I didn't.
Dad's Army was killer, man. Dad's Army was a load of old boys in this filmed in the 60s and early 70s, but it was set in World War II. So it was quite funny because it was only like 30 years prior or 20 years prior to when it was filmed, and they're like the Home Guard, and they're like useless. They're like old men, and
I have to look up some of this stuff.
because we were watching one from Scotland, that Still Game. That was like the one we were watching.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Still game
Yeah.
from Scotland.
Love
is,
that
like,
show.
one of my
Dad's
favorite shows.
Army. I've got to tell you this quote when they get caught by these Germans that have kind of come over or whatever. It's all fictitious, like the Germans invaded whatever in this episode, and they get all of them. There's like 8 of them, and one of the characters is called Pike, and the general of the group, they all get arrested, and they're like, the Germans are like, "What is your name?" And the general's like, "Don't tell them, Pike." Oh, it's that kind of humor.
Yeah. So, all that stuff. Yeah, I love that shit. It's so good.
yeah.
All right, well, we should probably wrap it up because now we're just chatting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Unless we got another. Oh, Terry says you could adjust your pickup
pickup
height
using
with
the crumpet,
I could do what? Sorry, what's he saying?
Adjust
You
your
can control
pickup.
your pickup heights using the crumpet.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, yeah,
Well, maybe
yeah,
if you
yeah.
put it under the pickup, because if it's rubbery, then it would give you some spring back.
You want it under, but you
Yeah.
might want to leave the butter and the
the
syrup.
syrup.
Yeah,
I was going to say
yeah.
the syrup might be
That's
not
gonna
good.
that's gonna kill it. Oh, we only get returns of Coronation Street. Wow, yeah, that's
Coronation Street.
Yeah, so that's
Oh,
still going.
Terry's in Canada.
Oh, he's in Canada.
Even more,
He's
yeah.
up in Canada,
I was gonna
so-
say even, yeah.
I've been to Canada. I used to work for Godin, so I used to go to Montreal every
Oh,
year.
yes, okay.
Great country. In fact, my parents lived in Kitchener for a while in Canada. Terry, don't know if you know Kitchener. But I was nearly born there, and then we moved back to the UK. So there you go, a little bit of history about me, but we're not here to talk about that.
I think Terry's up Ontario.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
him and Ben were in the
Yeah, it's similar. I think
area,
they're,
maybe.
pretty close.
I think I'm going to try and get up to Canada with Blackstar, I think, at some stage. But
Nice.
Cool.
yeah, cool, man. Well, look, thanks so much for having me.
Well,
having
we
me
appreciate
on.
you guys coming out.
Yeah.
Colin,
Yeah.
who's on the other side
Thanks
of
for
the camera.
patiently sitting there. Yeah.
James, we appreciate you coming out as well,
Thank
talking
you for-
about Blackstar. Obviously, you guys are welcome here anytime.
Likewise,
Come
over
out,
in the
we
UK.
can go
yeah.
out and grab,
Get
you
some
guys-
beers and
yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I,
it'd be nice. Yeah.
I want to say thank you to you guys as well for supporting the brand. It's, you know, we really, really do appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. We understand that space is always a premium. Budget is a premium. You're giving us space, you're investing in the brand, and we really appreciate it. So thank you.
Cool, man.
Well, thanks. Yeah, definitely a good stream. I mean, I think honestly, the more we can do this type of stuff, the better. Because like this is stuff a lot of YouTube channels don't really do. Is like you're saying, to me, the history of companies and like the people behind it gives you way more reason to care about a company. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think things like this are super beneficial.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me
just-
too.
Just shooting the shit is always fun. It's not super like salesman-y. You know, we see so many of these YouTube things that we're watching. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's the home shopping. You know, it's the
NBC,
home shopping network,
yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
Everyone's trying
oh,
to sell, and it's
stop, You
yeah.
know, like sometimes just have a conversation. Just be.
Well,
cool.
yeah, and it's like I said, it's music. This is what we do. We're here. I'm sat here today because of music, and Blackstar is here because of you're here because of music. And if you lose sight of that, that's dangerous. You have to keep that. Don't get me wrong. You got to run you got to have a business. You got to be solvent. But at the same time, it all comes back to music. Colin and I only met this week, and we're like bros now. And it's music that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So we
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
brought
yeah.
us
At the end of
together.
the day, you always have something to bond over when it's
Yeah.
music. Yeah.
There you go. So
Yep.
that's it. So thanks, Carla. Carla's saying great show, guys. Thank you, James. Thank you very much. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you, everybody, for
Yeah.
tuning
And thanks
in.
for
Those of
everybody
you
that
guys
kept
that,
watching.
yeah, those of you that stayed with us. I mean, because I think we're about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys hanging out. And actually, if it's almost 6, then go see Dylan Talks Tone. Jump over to his live stream. He should be next.
Yeah.
We kind of went right through the Texas Toast guys stuff.
Well, we did, but we
It's all
actually kept quite a few of our normal folks. So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for anybody that did stay watching. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we appreciate it. And that's it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, so we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Cheers, guys.
Woo!
Woo!
Catch you on the flip side.